You're never going to believe this, right? But because I've been writing so much about Brooklyn and Nicola, they've only gone and blocked me on Instagram.
I think that the use of Instagram in this whole story is incredibly interesting.
Let's be honest, the Beckham brand is basically a religion in the UK. To the rest of the world, the Beckhams aren't just a family, they're a $500 million corporation. They are the closest thing Britain has to a global monarchy that people actually like. You've got David, the national hero, who can still sell out a stadium just by standing there. You've got Victoria, who somehow successfully transitioned from a pop star to a high-fashion powerhouse. Together, they built this fortress of perfect family values, discipline, and sheer unadulterated glamour. But as we sit here in early 2026, that fortress is looking a little shaky, because beneath all the curated Instagram grids and the matching Cotswolds outfits, something started to break, and it didn't happen in a loud, explosive way. It happened quietly. It happened right at the center of the family tree with their eldest son, Brooklyn. For years, Brooklyn was the golden boy. He was the sweet, slightly awkward kid we watched grow up in the tabloids. Then, he meets Nicola Peltz. On paper, it's a match made in PR heaven. An American heiress from a multi-billionaire dynasty meets the heir to the Beckham throne. It should have been the crossover event of the decade. Instead, it became the match that lit the fuse on the most whispered about family fallout in modern pop culture. The rumors started with a dress. We all know that. But as of January 2026, the situation has escalated from awkward family dinners to what insiders are now calling a total legal blackout. We're talking missing birthdays, blocked accounts, and a shift in loyalty that has left David and Victoria looking at an empty seat at the table. How did the world's most untouchable family fall apart without a single public screaming match? Stay with me, because what's happening right now behind the scenes of those legal letters changes the Beckham legacy forever. Every fairy tale wedding has that one image that defines the union. For Brooklyn and Nicola, it wasn't the kiss, it wasn't the $4 million price tag, it was the dress. When the news broke that Nicola wasn't wearing a Victoria Beckham design,
The feud started when Nicola refused to wear one of Victoria Beckham's designs. Nicola wore 3 dresses throughout her wedding day and into the night, and none of them were any of Victoria's designs.
the PR teams tried to play it cool. They called it creative differences. They said Nicola just wanted a specific Valentino look. But let's read between the lines here. In the Beckham world, fashion isn't just a hobby. It's Victoria's entire identity. It's her language. Every major milestone in that family has been branded and styled under her eye. For Nicola to pass on a VB original and go to an outside designer, that wasn't just a personal choice. In the high-stakes world of billionaire branding, that was a declaration of independence. It was a power move. The whispers from the inner circle suggest Victoria was completely blindsided. She'd already started sketches, she'd cleared the schedule, and then silence. Nicola's team reportedly stopped responding. Imagine being Victoria Beckham, a woman who has spent decades perfecting her image and being ghosted by your future daughter-in-law. At the wedding, Victoria did what she does best. She smiled for the cameras. But behind the scenes, insiders say she felt publicly humiliated. She was outshined in her own arena. That dress sent a message that rang louder than any wedding bell. Nicola Peltz was not going to be another Beckham accessory. She was building her own spotlight, and she didn't need Victoria's permission to do it. After the wedding lights dimmed in Florida, the long fade began. You know that feeling when a friend gets into a new relationship and just... Now imagine that happening on a global stage with a family that documents every Sunday roast. Suddenly, the United Front had a hole in it. The Beckhams were still doing their thing, the fashion shows, the Cotswolds weekends, the casual yacht trips. But Brooklyn, he was gone. At first, the fans were like, okay, they're newlyweds, let them have their space. But then the months turned into a year, then 2. Victoria's runway shows used to be a mandatory family reunion. Every Beckham kid in the front row, David smiling next to Anna Wintour, but the seat next to Cruz and Romeo, empty. The Christmas photos, David, Harper, and the boys. No Brooklyn. When the press asked, we got the usual busy schedule excuses. But this is the age of social media. We can see exactly where people are. While the Beckhams were celebrating in London, Brooklyn was in LA, seemingly living a completely different life. He wasn't just missing from the events. He was being systematically scrubbed from the family narrative. The gap wasn't just physical, it was emotional.
There was a clear intention there for David to tell the world that his son didn't want to be there. And he posted saying, miss you at Brooklyn Beckham. Didn't want to be there. And so that, when you see that, you're like, oh my God.
Brooklyn was caught in the ultimate tug of war, his mother's expectations versus his wife's need for a clean break. And as we've seen, Brooklyn chose. He chose the Peltz side of the map. In 2026, you don't need a press release to start a war. You just need a caption. Brooklyn's Instagram used to be a love letter to his parents. Then the tone shifted. He posted a photo, simple enough, thanking someone for a gift. He skipped the thanks mom and dad tag he'd used for a decade. The internet noticed within minutes. The comment section was a bloodbath. Where's Victoria? Did you forget your family? The post was deleted, then re-uploaded. This time, he specifically tagged the Peltz family. He thanked Nicola's parents for their support. It was a digital middle finger to the Beckham brand. It wasn't an oversight, it was a strategy. For Victoria, who lives and breathes image control, this was a sting. It wasn't just a private snub, it was a public alignment with a rival dynasty. David reportedly tried to play peacemaker, telling Brooklyn to keep the family business off the grid, but the damage was done. Brooklyn had traded his Beckham blue for Peltz gold. Birthdays in the Beckham house are usually a week-long PR event. When Victoria turned 51, the world waited for the Brooklyn post. It's the bare minimum, right? A throwback photo of him as a baby, a happy birthday mum caption. We got nothing. Total radio silence. Every other Beckham sibling posted. Even the family dogs probably had a story up, but from the eldest son, not even a like. Now, sources are saying this wasn't just about being busy. As of late 2025 and into this month, the rumors are that Brooklyn has essentially blocked the core family accounts. If you try to tag him in a family photo, it doesn't even show up. Victoria was reportedly heartbroken but stoic. She's a professional. She's not gonna cry on camera. But David is a different story. He's always been the glue. He's the one who values loyalty above everything. And seeing his firstborn son treat his mother like a stranger, that's where the hero David persona starts to crack. When David Beckham turned 50 last May, it was supposed to be the reconciliation of the century. The party was massive. Everyone who is anyone in London was there. Victoria, Harper, Romeo, Cruz. They were all presenting a united front for the man who built their world. Brooklyn and Nicola were literally in London just days before. They were there, but when the party started, they were nowhere to be found. David reportedly held a seat for him until the very last second. He wanted that father and son's photo for the legacy. It never happened. Brooklyn didn't show. No toast, no appearance. Not even a public happy birthday dad. That night, David posted a photo of him fishing with Romeo and Cruz. The caption was simple, "Miss you, Brooklyn." It wasn't angry. It was sad. It was a father realization that his son wasn't just away. He was gone. And Brooklyn's response? Nothing. He posted a photo of a steak he was cooking in LA. The contrast was brutal. On one side of the world, a father grieving a relationship. On the other, a son who had already moved on to a new family. To understand why Brooklyn left, you have to look at where he went. The Peltz family doesn't just have money, they have billionaire money. Nelson Peltz is a titan of industry. He's a man who moves in circles that make the Beckhams look like new money. When Brooklyn moved to LA, he didn't just move for the weather. He was absorbed into the Peltz machine. Nelson reportedly took Brooklyn under his wing, involving him in business discussions and treating him like the son he'd always wanted. Brooklyn wasn't the Beckham kid anymore. He was a Peltz by association. The Peltz style is different. It's more private, more insulated, and arguably more controlling. Insiders say Nicola's family provided Brooklyn with a sense of individual power he never had with Victoria. With the Beckhams, he was always the son. With the Peltzes, he's the husband. It's a rebranding that seems to have worked on him. He changed his name to Brooklyn Peltz Beckham. He shifted his career from photography to chefing under the Peltz umbrella. He traded the British countryside for Florida mansions. It wasn't just a move, it was a defection. You can't talk about Brooklyn and Nicola without talking about Harry and Meghan. The parallels are so loud they're practically screaming. The beloved British son, the glamorous American wife, the move across the Atlantic, the no-contact order. The media has dubbed them the royals of pop culture. And just like the actual royals, the rift is dividing the public. You've got the Team Victoria camp, who think Nicola has brainwashed Brooklyn and pulled him away from a loving family. Then you've got Team Brooklyn, who say he's finally standing up to a controlling, image-obsessed mother to live his own life. The Beckhams reportedly hate this comparison. David has spent his whole life being a good British lad. Being compared to a family in exile is the ultimate insult to his brand. But the more Brooklyn stays silent, the more the spare narrative grows. He's the heir who walked away. Here is the part they don't want you to know. As we head further into 2026, the communication between the two families has reportedly moved from texting to lawyers. There are whispers that a formal communication protocol has been established. If David and Victoria want to reach out, it has to go through specific channels. It's the ultimate no-contact move. It's not just a family feud anymore, it's a legal separation of brands. The Beckhams are trying to protect the Beckham name. The Peltzes are protecting brand Nicola. Brooklyn is caught in the middle, or perhaps he's the one who signed the papers. The most chilling part? In Victoria's latest documentary project, Brooklyn is almost entirely absent. The footage from the early 2000s is there, but the modern-day interviews, he declined to participate. Think about that. He refused to be part of his own mother's legacy project. That's not a busy schedule, that's a statement. In the end, this isn't a story about a villain and a hero. It's a story about what happens when a family brand becomes more important than the family itself. Victoria and David built a masterpiece. They created a world of perfection, where every hair was in place, and every child followed the script. But children grow up, they develop their own voices, their own loyalties, and sometimes they find a new script that fits them better. Is Brooklyn betraying his parents? Or is he just the first Beckham to realize that the golden frame was actually a cage? Whatever the truth is, the image of the untouchable Beckhams is gone. They are human, they are fractured, and they are living proof that even with all the money and fame in the world, you can't force someone to stay. The silence between London and LA is deafening, and in the world of the ultra-famous, silence is the most expensive thing you can buy. If you think the Beckham rift is intense, you should see what's happening with the legal fallout in Hollywood right now. We just dropped a deep dive into how a high-profile lawyer's resignation is exposing some dark secrets in a legendary filmmaker's estate. It's a mystery that makes this family drama look like a walk in the park. Check that out right here on Celeb Spotlight. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because in 2026, the real stories are the ones they're trying to bury. See you in the next one. The content in this video is for entertainment and commentary purposes only. The information presented is based on public reports, social media analysis, and anonymous insider sources. No claims are made regarding the absolute factual accuracy of private family matters. All individuals mentioned are presumed to be acting within their own legal rights.